Hello! What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? It's been such a long time since I showed up here. Let me see if I remember how to do this. I hope things are working. Last time I was here was, I think, October or November. I remember saying, I'm gonna be showing up more. You're gonna be seeing the background of what I'm doing. I'm gonna be explaining things and why it matters to me, why it matters to you or should. And poof, I disappeared.
You didn't see anything.
To be fair, a couple days after that video, maybe the following week, I was drumming for 40 minutes, getting all excited for Carnaval and all that. And Carnaval's come and gone. But I did not come back here to say hi to anybody and to explain all the things that I said I would. I'll try to do something that one of my professors in Michigan used to do. He would say what he's gonna be talking about, then he would talk about it, and then he would talk about what he talked about, so people know what it is, what's happening, what's not happening.
Fun, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I hope it makes sense, and I hope I don't mess up the timeline and it doesn't take forever. So thank you for your attention. If you know me, hi, hello again. Probably haven't seen each other in a very long time because I'm in Belo Horizonte. I'm not in the US anymore. I still do this English thing because that's how my brain's been operating since 2008. Well, 6, 7 when I was preparing to go to the US. And I stayed there for 13 years. Now I'm back here where everything started. For those of you who don't know me, you just got a little bit of my background, but I am a visual artist and environmental activist from Belo Horizonte, Brazil. I was born here and I stayed here until about 17 years old, and I went to the US because I had a feeling there was something there that I needed to learn. I had incredible opportunities that my family helped me sustain and achieve, and it really was a life changer when I went to Cushing Academy, where John Cena went.
This is off to a great start.
We did not meet there, but he's a really cool alumnus of Cushing. Just a few days ago, he released a really cool video about his experiences there, which I could relate very much. Then I went to college after that in the US as well. I felt I had to stay and my mission there wasn't complete. Went to a really great philosophy program at Marist University now. It was college then, it's university now. It paved the way for me to go to the University of Michigan, where I studied environmental justice and human behavior, education, and communication. Those two things, there were 2 concentrations.
What?
After that, as I tried to understand what humanity was about and why we did what we did, and I realized we really don't take good care of where we live. Whether people think it's round or flat, it doesn't matter, there's a limit.
Wrong.
I realized, okay, I gotta do something practical with it now, and I went into the real world. Out in California, I had a great partner that I met in Michigan, and we were together for a few years. At the end of 2021, we had split up. I needed to take care of a back problem I had. First opportunity I had to go home after the COVID pandemic. I took that chance. I was here for a while, got better, reconnected with a bunch of folks. And I had some precious encounters with different art forms that really moved me and really felt like I should dig into. And I dedicated myself to doing that for the past few years. Going to a few exhibits, learning from some artists, getting my hands back into the art forms that I used to do as a kid, because I was really into drawing, really into wildlife. And I decided, like, I'm not going back to the US. I had my American dream, which, wasn't really the plan.
How dare you show your back to me?
I really wanted to understand what I should be doing with the time I have alive, and the clock is always ticking. We don't know what the next turn really is. I felt like this was the turn, and I closed that chapter and came back to Brazil. So that's my background. This is kind of the intro. I said I would do an intro saying what was becoming, and then I repeated and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't do it. But anyway, you get the picture. This is the intro. Hi, I'm Vito. I just told you about myself. And I'll talk about what I'm doing, and I'll try to close this out just thanking a few people for helping me get here. And then I'll tell you about what I just told you. So back to schedule. So in typical character, if you know me in person or you kind of, familiar with me already, I tend to show up, we'll catch up, cool connection. I still have amazing memories and I love everybody I really know, and I really care about you. But then I disappear. Why? Not necessarily because I don't like to spend time with people. I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But Andrea Earhart, she's an amazing mentor from a distance. She is a visual artist, a muralist from Missouri, and she has a podcast called the Artist Academy Podcast. And the other day she released an episode talking about the biggest challenges for an artist who's really introverted and needs to get out there, and everything was super relatable because I was very much like her, a kid who would go off in a corner, do my thing, play a little bit here and there with some friends. However, my thing to figure out and really get my mind working and express myself.
What the hell is that?
I hope you can hear me. There is some construction happening right outside this building and it's loud. I might have to cut this out and fast forward it or whatnot. Anyway, having a lot in my mind that I want to express and understand mostly and then translate it clearly to other people, I would go to my own corner, draw the things that I wanted to draw, make sure it kind of relates and it's realistic so that anyone can understand what it is and I don't have to explain it. And I still very much have that in me. It's always been hard to be the face of the franchise.
Oh, don't laugh. Don't.
Showing up, talking to people out in the street even, to get directions or simple things like that. That really took me some maturing and it's still a challenge since I don't show up as often. There's a hint there that this isn't second nature or even third nature for me. I have this way of being. To create my pieces, that's actually a big requirement. To do justice to the messages that really move me, I need to have my time. I need this environment that is really focused to really help me make sense of things and translate it to works of art that actually have a good impact. The bit that's missing often, putting the work out there and connecting with people about it. So it's not just me having it figured out and so what. I used to hear this ever since I was a very young boy. You can't do it on your own, you need help. And I didn't like to ask for help. I like to figure things out, not out of ego or pride, or it was mostly out of security that I can do things, that I got it. I got very comfortable with being on my own and figuring things out, but you can only go so far with that. It takes a village. Everything's interconnected. I wouldn't be able to even speak the way I do if it wasn't for lots of people who I met or that I listened to that inspired me, the way they say certain words or gestures and expressions, all that. I don't consider myself self-taught because I put myself in so many different conditions and other people help me get there and sustain it and move on from there. And I have so many people to thank for all these things. Just like that dilemma, separating your personal life from your professional life, I really don't understand that. I've never been able to parse that out. It's always been part of me. I guess it's like an artist thing, right? To be inseparable from their work, and lots of the elements there are very much about the artist, kind of their stories and why they think those things are important is because we're trying to deal with them. And me coming here and talking and engaging and not being so shy, it's an exercise in being a human too, not just trying to sell a monkey on a shirt. To help the monkeys, not this monkey, but other monkeys that need it more than I do. Well, they need to eat, and I do too. So that's there's another paradigm there that I'm trying to break. we all need support. We all need to find ways to help one another, and I hope some of the work is relevant enough that people like it. For those of you who have looked at my stuff deeply enough or known me for a while, I'm all about the other. That's not really the other at all. I felt that my whole life, and I cannot stress that enough. Coexistence is hard. If we can't even do that with ourselves or with people we like, or to open ourselves to people we don't know and be at peace with that, how in the world will we understand beings that are flying, that don't speak English, that can't see, that are under the ground, that are, swimming in worlds that are completely removed from ours, and yet they have so many similar faculties and challenges in their lives to be. We share existence, and I think that's relevant enough to be worthwhile and care about. So my work's very much about that, and I cannot find a way to separate the challenges that I have personally from the artist. That is bizarre to put that title on my forehead It's super awkward. I'm not comfortable with that, but
That is what we're doing, isn't it?
what else do I need to say today? So I told you about who I am, why I do these things. I said I would talk about the things that I'm doing. I created my own brand called Vitorious. It's on this shirt. It's kind of small, but if you're up close, you can see it. It's Vitorious because of my name in part, but I'm not a megalomaniac, unlike certain presidents out in the world today.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
My work's not necessarily super political, but I do have a few things that I want to say here and there, and some works that I've made and might release in the future. I have made a variety of things up to now for the past 2 years. My thing that really got me into wanting to express more is pencil on paper. That is still how I find the most connection with the works themselves, with the message that I find valuable to translate and just to feel materialized in the world. A couple people have really driven that home for me. One of my art teachers, her name is Terezinha Veiga, she's passed on due to COVID. She was the first person who, oh man, I'm not gonna get emotional, am I?
Don't cry, don't cry.
She was a friend of my mom's, and I was probably at her art school called Passaredo for about 6 years, from like age 4 to 10, something like that. And she really liked the way I drew things, and she knew I didn't really like to make sculpture because I didn't want my hands to get dirty. I really hated the feeling of clay. I was soft, softer than clay. She would let me draw longer than the other kids because I just gave myself to that. And my mom, you know, bless her heart, she knew I did not like to color my drawings. I liked the black and white feel, the graphite or the black pen. She would help me sometimes with artwork at school because the teachers wanted me to color things. Imagine this, I was not even a teenager. They wanted to fail me because I didn't color the things that I didn't want to color.
What? No way.
My mom would be like, you need to do this for school. Let's make a copy. You keep the one you love, that's really you, and you give her the colored bit, and that's it. End of drama, end of story. We'll copy it, we'll do it. Everyone's happy. That was big. To find your way to talk in a way, to communicate that. It's a very deep question, and they really helped me with that. And fast forward, 30 years, maybe 20 something, and I went to Scotland to see the first Banksy exhibit of his stencils. There's Banksy exhibits all over the world. None of them have been of Banksy himself and his people, neither sponsored nor authorized. 2 summers ago, I saw an announcement that would happen, and I was like, stop everything. I have all my savings from California here, and this is gonna help me go to Scotland. I cannot miss this.
You smoke crack, don't you?
I want to learn from the best. If I can be a little droplet of paint compared to his murals, I'll be super satisfied because I really find his work moving. And I went there to see the exhibit, and it changed my life. It really did. To feel, I can do this, I can feel this. One of the tour guides there, who I had seen at the gallery earlier, just looking at things, and I talked to her a bit about what was happening in Glasgow. I asked her, what do people miss that you think I should not miss out on? And she was like, just take it all in, because there's details everywhere. I was there for like 3 hours in the exhibit, and I saw so many people just missing things left and right. There was this one instance where I had gone through 3 or 4 different rooms and noticed certain things, and then I saw a mom talk to her son and be like, oh, you see, he does this, this, and that. And I was like, well, you haven't been paying attention for 4 rooms.
Uh-oh.
That was really something. And one of the things that Banksy wrote that was, striking was that I did all these small figures, and I did it because, the setting I was in, my parents and all that, and things I was seeing in society. And these were the challenges, this part of the art world and this part of the street art world, and I was kind of in between. And he said, as soon as I went to life size and bigger, things really had a different feel. And I feel I need to go to walls because of that. I want to spread the message and make it big and make it very visible, so that people can interact. In that trip too, I was able to go to Waterloo Station. There's a massive tunnel there where you can paint and do whatever you want to do. And there's a Banksy in there, and there was a guy named Mark Craig. I was doing this little thing with bees, with the letters that I have, because I created an alphabet for nature to express herself. Animals kind of paint what they want to say, and you see that through the works that I've published. He saw the little bits that I was doing, and it was like this big, right? Nothing massive.
That's what she said.
It was just behave, and it had a bee with a roller cutting the half, like having just be. And he's like, I like what you're doing. Your next step is, see that wall? And then he pointed to a wall that was like, I don't know, 10 feet by 6. The feeling that I get is that little child who's not supposed to do something. He was like, do that. Do a bunch of bees together, take that whole wall and send your message. Then your work's gonna be. So that's kind of the next step of what I want to do. And I realized this is already becoming a podcast. But trust me, this is shorter than the video I recorded earlier. Thanks for still being here. If you're still here, I promise I'm winding down and this will be done soon. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Which gets me into what I'm doing. Kind of, you know, back and forth, some things ahead of others, but we're going forward here. So I've been making the animals, like I said, with the alphabet that I created. I still, you know, take a lot of time to write everything out, especially for those who have visual disabilities that can't see the work. And I want some of the pieces to have braille in them so people can feel them and, you know, get that interaction. Because most times, what's the point of that art if it's not engaging? I want to try to break those barriers so that whichever your background, if you can see or if you can't hear, or if you haven't studied bees, social structure.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If you don't really get those types of things, you can still capture what I'm trying to talk about. And I've been trying to post them in different formats, both digital and in physical goods. I have experimented the artisanal way, making it locally, controlling everything to make sure that I have the accountability for what impact they have on the environment. So I know what I'm doing and that you know what you're getting. It's not just a matter of getting a sexy shirt that has a tiger on it, or getting something with an environmental message because sustainability is gonna save everything. That's too shallow, and most times that I see people doing these types of things is touchy-feely, and some of it is relevant and good. There are good people doing good work, but I feel that the dimension that we need to operate in because of the impacts that we have in the world, it has to be closer to the core, and I really need to understand what this fabric demands. Is this gonna last for you? Is it gonna be useful for you? Is it gonna bring more joy into the world than it takes away? My life is very much focused on making sure that I bring more good to the table than not. Otherwise, I don't want to be involved in things.
You need this to wipe your hands, you got blood on it.
And I've been doing the shirts, and I found an interesting business partner. Well, I went on their page. I've known their stickers for a while. It's called Redbubble, this brand. I saw some positives and some negatives of how their business works, but based on the things that they said, I thought they were legit enough. I could make my designs available in lots of different products that are useful. Like, I don't want anyone getting my things because they like my face. Most of the days I don't even like my face, so don't do it for me. Don't get a shower curtain if you don't need a shower curtain. And I want the messages to get to people. The least cost in terms of the environment, in terms of your time, in terms of your money, for the most benefit. Sharing the messages, helping these animals. I try to donate half the things, half the, what is the word that I'm looking for? Half the proceeds, thank you, brain, half the proceeds to organizations that I really believe in. The two projects I have right now, they're phygital. I hate the words that we create, but well, I hate the word hate. I hate phygital, I hate hope. Belief also bothers me.
No better word than stupid, right?
Words sometimes, they try to help convey some things, but the way that we use them in the context and the hopes and the promises that and the misconceptions of words tend to really get me. So I'm trying to use words very carefully and kindly, because once they flee my mouth, or once I write them and they're out into the world, they can be arrows, and I do not want. I'm not waging war right now. I took a portion of my website to articulate why I think NFTs were worthwhile. It was an existential battle with myself to figure out why that was worthwhile, to go across the globe and try to get some people who have potential buying power to acquire these things, and they're living assets that can be traded and generate benefits for my causes for a potentially endless amount of time. As long as those networks are still up, they're challenging too in terms of the accountability for the emissions involved in the process of trading those digital assets and all of that. And I've been able to connect with some cool people and join a really cool collective of peripheral artists that this awesome street artist called Katia Suzue from Sao Paulo organized. It's called the Suzui Crypto Gang, and they're dope, and it is so fun to interact with them. And I've gotten to know some people from the Nouns community, and I'm trying to do something with them. JP was really cool to talk to at an event here in Belo Horizonte the other day. And so the stuff that I've been doing, the digital pieces of animals articulating their complaints and their thoughts and their questions to us, they've been super fun. You've seen that posted on my social media, and I'll have a lot more coming. I really want those two campaigns. One of them is Wild Word Web. I wanted to have the wild, the voice of the wild, with my lettering and with my animals being up there talking about things. And that's one collection with endangered animals, trying to be like, hey, do you see me? It's about time you do, because I'm gonna be out of here if you don't do anything. And then the other collection is more of a protesting type of collection. I've mentioned that in the other video, and I've been writing and posting too. It's called Bewilder Brigade. It's more of the black and white that I like. It feels more raw, like my drawings. And I try to share them in different ways with different versions so that people can see the sketch itself. And then I have digital versions, so it's crispier and it's got color. The dimensions work with different types of fabric, and it can be small and it can be big. I try to have that variety, which takes a ton of time to make, hence my disappearance being facilitated, along with my character flaws. That's kind of how all of this ties together. And briefly, I'll just show you some of the recent sketches.
This is your chance to show me what you're made of, all right?
It will give you a glimpse of what's coming, things that I'll definitely invest my time in, and also some things that I'm debating posting, and I would love to get your feedback. So this can be engaging, and not just me writing, and not just me posting animated videos of animals coming in and out of screens. I really like the things that I made so far, but I feel like there's a couple levels that I can still hit. And I would love to get your feedback on things, not just on the art itself, even how I display it. You know, I have a wide variety of channels that I've been advised to try based on the different audiences that I can reach. I really want to get out of X. Tell me why. Instagram, for example, I have a personal and a professional one, which is just for the work, and it doesn't have the bits and pieces of my life. I'd love to hear what you guys think about how lively or not that is, if that's too dry, if you want to see my face or not. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you do, I can maybe just merge them and get rid of Vitorious 1 and just leave Vitorious Life, which is my personal one, and I'll make that public. I've had that debate, and I'm trying to figure the best things out so that I can be active in the places that make sense, and I'm not wasting my time copying, pasting the same hashtags on 4 different places and then adjusting for the 5th and then not doing it in the 6th. Time goes by. On to the designs.
It's about damn time.
Can you see this? Yeah, you can. So you might recognize who this figure is. He's over here. And you have the rest of the sketch there, which I post on a platform called Zora. It's like a NFT social media place, just like Rodeo and Warpcast is another. So I'm on all these things trying to find the best way to go about this business. I finally released yesterday the digital version of this sketch. It's a couple birds looking at this pop star in a cage and wondering, why won't it sing anymore? I think it speaks for itself. You've seen Fashion Tip. It took maybe a day to draw It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience. I absolutely loved drawing this. To digitize it was an absolute torture.
Shit went bad real quick.
9 days making these scales, and yeah, I won't be doing that again. But I love Fashion Tip. I hope you like it too. I got to exhibit that. It was my very first work displayed anywhere ever in my life, and it felt cool. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm realized I exposed my work and that's what I wanted to do my whole life. The realization that I have looking at this is, it's much deeper than, you know, having my thing at a gallery. This one you've seen. Oh, that's great. What I was gonna show you, it's Eat This. You've seen the sketch on Zora too, and it's on Redbubble if you want to put that on a shirt or you know, a pillow. This one's gonna be fun. It's coming soon. I don't know what it's gonna be called, but it's basically ready. And there's a full page here of ideas that were sparked by far-right politicians being far-right politicians.
Right now, if you Google the word idiot under images, a picture of Donald Trump comes up. I just did that.
I wrote a note to myself. This is unchanneled frustrations that probably won't ever do anything good. So I'll bury them here in a stupid page. Maybe it's a bit too harsh, and maybe they should leave their cage too, but a lot happening in one sketchbook. I'll definitely love to hear your feedback. Before December comes around, I wrap this thing up here. I want to thank one more person, Mabi Betonico. I don't know if you ever see this. She's a professor in Switzerland and France. She's an incredible artist in her own right, and she inspired me a lot. This existential exercise that I have of articulating my things and not just calling myself a t-shirt print maker, but a full-blown artist, and is not, you know, trying to brag about being some holy person who's seen the light and is trying to save the world.
Amen, Jesus.
I struggle mightily with that, with imposter syndrome, and even presenting myself to a group of strangers. It's always been weird. It's always felt, you know, not authentic, and yeah, it's something that I'm learning to do, and she's encouraged me a lot. Muito obrigado, Mabi, pela inspiração. Eu te adoro. And on that note, as I'm wrapping up in Portuguese here with my cousin, if anyone's interested in me making my updates not only shorter, but in different languages, let me know. English is my main operating system, but my first language is Portuguese. Posso fazer os podcasts, não os podcasts, posso fazer os updates em português. Puedo hablar en español también, sin problema, evidentemente con errores, porque hay mucho tiempo que no lo pratico. Aussi en français, mais c'est le pire de les quatre. Je pense que sera le plus difficile.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
Thank you so much. It's been fun to get back here. Well, not fun. It's exciting to do something that I know I need to do. It also drives my cortisol up to the roof. Thank you, Tripod, for being here, and thank you for watching if you're still there, human being. Thanks for being so kind with your time. If you have any questions about how to find my work or how the NFTs world works, let me know. I'll try to help you figure those things out. That's it. It's been great. Frightening, but great. Thank you.
Mama, we did it.
All right. So maybe I'll do this kind of like a behind the scenes. Every time I do this, I think of a photo shoot I did for Ian Gary. Shout out Ian. What's up, future? I was working with Curtis Pike. Shout out Curtis. I don't know if you ever watched this, but you taught me how to get the wires to fold in the right ways, and every time I'm dealing with them, I think, what did Curtis say? I'm probably destroying this thing, but I remember the day. I remember what we were doing. We were at Shoot You Boxy. Hey! Miss you guys. Yeah. Good times. That's it. That's what we have for today. This video's been, I don't know how long, but yeah. We're done. We're done for now. I'll probably come back next month, or knowing me, you see me in 2035.